Welcome to our journey through the rich history of the railways around Hayle in Cornwall. From mule trains to steam locomotives, this town has seen it all. Join me today as we trace the roots of these historic railways that shaped Hayle into the bustling port town it became.
All aboard!
So, the Hayle Swing Bridge, originally built as a drawbridge in 1837, is replaced by the Swing Bridge in 1880. Only one of three cantilever bridges built by GWR. It carried both the road and the Wharves Branch-Line, linking the Hayle Railway to the main line. This bridge was raised and rotated to allow seagoing vessels to pass along the canal to Copperhouse. And here is the original engine house. As you can see, the door has been broken with vandals, enabling us to see inside and see some of the mechanism that's left. The railway then ran along the north shore of Copperhouse Pool, following what is now the King George V Memorial Walk.
Lined with stories of the brave, stoking fires, waves to stave.
And a nice little reminder here that this was once Great Western Railway's property.
Boisterous crowds felt the thrill as the mighty engines will.
This area was also integral to Hayle's transport network,
Standing still. Tracks through
with the line running straight across the marshes and over the bridge at Leflean before heading out towards Penmare. Leflean Bridge, incidentally, is Cornwall's earliest standard gauge railway bridge, built in 1837. Just to summarise, I've used this aerial map to show the actual route I've just been talking about.
boisterous crowds felt the thrill as the mighty engines will. Fortunes rise and pennies spill. Life was more than standing still. Tracks through time, they tell a tale of dreams chased on iron rail.
Opposite the Swing Bridge is a footpath which leads up to the present-day Hayle Railway Station. It ran under the Quay Overbridge, a granite and iron structure from 1852. This footpath was the track bed of the Hayle Wharves Railway Branch-Line, which connected Hayle to the main line. This station, now unmanned, was once a busy hub with engine sheds, a signal box and stables for horses working on the Wharves Branch-Line.
Yesterday, Hayle's heart did feel the beat.
Isambard Kingdom Brunel's Viaduct, built in 1850, is a testament to engineering brilliance. It stretches at 841 feet by 34 feet high. It has 37 spans. Originally made of timber, it was built to Stephenson's standard gauge.
Legends born in Hayle, lined with stories of
One of its 5 steam locomotives, the Cannubia, was constructed at the Copperhouse Foundry in 1838. The viaduct was rebuilt in stone in 1883 to 1886 to accommodate a double standard gauge track. The original Hayle Railway terminus, 1837 to 1852, stood in front of the viaduct. Today it is the site of the Isis Gardens.
Legends born in Hayle. Legends born in Hayle.
The gardens serve as a memorial to Hayle's first lifeboat, which was given to the town by the University of Oxford in 1866. The lifeboat was in service for 21 years and saved 51 lives before being replaced in 1887. The memorial stone is the original pinnacle stone from the Hayle Lifeboat House, which stood on North Quay.
Legends born in Hayle. Legends born in Hayle. Legends born in Hayle. Legends born in Hayle.
The Hayle Railway ran alongside Penpol Creek, an essential waterway since 1769. The Cornish Copper Company and Harvey & Co. both improved the quay for coal imports and copper exports. A non-aggressive pact in 1818 ended decades of disputes over water frontage and quay access. See my video, The 30-Year War of Hayle, for more details. In 1819, Harvey's built South Quay as their maritime trade surged. The railway track passed Harvey shipyards, which constructed 79 vessels, including the 4,000-ton Brunel in 1891. The yard closed in 1893. The area today looking quite derelict.
Fires, waves to stave, engineers their future pave, every soul a gem to save. Boisterous crowds felt the thrill as the mighty engines will. Fortunes rise and pennies spill. Life was more than standing still. Tracks through time, they tell.
The Hayle Gas Company, established in 1889, supplied the town with gas until taken over by the South West Gas Board, operating independently from the Cornish Copper Company and Harvey's. Following the track of the Hayle Wharves Branch-Line, once over the swing bridge you come to the Custom House. In 1836, the Cornish Copper Company and Harvey's sent a joint petition to the Treasury to move it from St Ives to Hayle. The petition was upheld and Hayle was allowed to set its own harbour dues. Finally, in 1862, the Custom House was built in Hayle. After the port closed in 1979, the Custom House became redundant and, except for an office used by employment services, remained virtually empty. In 1988, it was extensively restored by the Hayle Harbour Company and is now used as their offices. Whilst following the track of the Hayle Red Roof railway line, once over the swing bridge, the train would stop at an area once known as Bristol Man's Dock. Passengers would alight and would be able to catch the steam packets to Bristol and Swansea. Both Harvey & Co. and the Cornish Copper Company sailed paddle steamers from Hayle, starting in 1831 and continuing until 1917.
Time they tell a tale of dreams chased on iron rail. In the night or morning pale, legends born in Hayle. Legends born in
The third in the trio of Hayle rail routes was referred to as the Dynamite line. All the lines of the Hayle Railway, the Hayle Wharves Branch-Line and the Dynamite line all converge at the swing bridge. The Dynamite line operated from 1917 to 1922, carrying explosives from the National Explosives Works, their warehouse on Dynamite Quay at Leland. As mentioned earlier, in 1936, the King George V Memorial Walk was established to commemorate the Silver Jubilee of King George V and Queen Mary. This walk runs the length of Copperhouse Pool's North Bank and was built by the Cornish Copper Company in 1788. Continuing along Memorial Walk, the route continues on and crosses Wilson's Pool Salt Marsh, formed on the site of the Copperhouse Mill Pond. The Cornish Copper Company's 1842 grist mill, known as Paddy's Mill, the only tidal-powered mill in Cornwall, would have stood to our right. Here is what is left of the site today. You will note the name as Paddy's Mill in reference to the mill that once stood here. Whereas Paddy's Mill was used for grinding corn, its big brother, Logan's Mill, which stands slightly further along the route, ground flour. Logan's Mill, the present 5-storey grist mill, dates from 1852, when it was completely reconstructed and modernised following a disastrous fire which destroyed the mill in 1851. But the site has a very long tradition of milling. The first mill probably predates the Norman Conquest, and a mill is recorded as an asset of Connaughton Manor in the Domesday Survey of 1085.
Tracks through time, they tell a tale of dreams chased on iron rail in the night.
Closed in 1936, the mill has become very neglected, but is now apparently due to be renovated as part of a new housing development.
Lined with stories of the brave, stoking fires, waves to stave. Engineers their future pave, every soul a gem to save.
Both of these mills were owned by Hoskin, Trevivick and Polkinghorne and Co Limited. The Dynamite line was the most short-lived of Hayle's railway lines, the spur line of the National Explosives Works, which ran from Hayle Station to Upton Towns from 1917 to 1922. From 1888 to 1917, the railhead for the works had been sited at Grignoux Road. The total length of the line was about 2.5 miles, but half of the route utilised existing tracks of the Hayle Wharves Branch-Line and the Hayle Railway. Established in 1888 to produce a dynamite for blasting in the mines, the National Explosives Company expanded rapidly to produce 3 tons per day by 1890. The works eventually covered 300 acres and over 1,800 people worked there. Up to 2,000 tons of cordite, gelatine, nitroglycerine and gelignite were manufactured there for the Army and the Navy until 1919, when all production was stopped. The site was still in use to store explosives until the 1960s, when it was finally abandoned. The National Explosives Company is a subject for a future video, so all the more reason to do that bell thingy. Birdline remained in operation until 1922, whilst the works were being stripped and cleared. The company had its own engine, specially built by Peckett and Son of Bristol. It was a 4-coupled saddle tank locomotive which, because of the dangers of setting off an explosion, had been fitted with a spark arresting funnel. There are no records or photos of this engine that I'm aware of, but after some extensive research I revealed that it might possibly have been sold to the wireworks at Cumbrawn in Monmouthshire in 1924 when retired from Cornwall, and following this information I found a couple of photographs of their engine. It fits the description and may well be the very same engine. It seems in the photographs that the spark arresting funnel guard had been removed, as there would have been no need for it, but it would have looked something like this.
Tracks through time, they tell a tale of dreams.
The Hayle Railway line then left Hayle and ran across the fields towards Angarrack. Until 1843, the wagons were hauled up the notoriously steep Angarrack Incline by horses. After that date, a steam engine was used to winch them up the 1 in 10 gradient. The name Steamer's Hill is a legacy of those difficult early days of rail travel. This system of wagon haulage was discontinued in 1852 when the West Cornwall Railway decided to reroute the main line to Truro. In the interest of passenger safety, it was decided to avoid the incline altogether, and the magnificent Angarrack Viaduct was built. Like the original 1852 wooden structure at Foundry Square in Hayle, Angarrack Viaduct was also built of wood, and both structures were rebuilt in granite in 1886 by GWR. Due to the influx of labourers during this work, it is said that the population of the village trebled. Angarrack did, briefly, have its own station on the new main line, but it's very short-lived. It was closed in 1853 within a few months of its opening. It stood on the north side of the track, but sadly, nothing of it remains today to indicate its exact location.
Tracks through time, they tell a tale of dreams chased on iron rail in the night or morning.
So, our journey through Hayle's railway history ends here, but its legacy lives on. From the mules and pack horses of the 18th century to the grand viaducts and innovative rail lines, Hayle's railways tell a story of industrial ingenuity and community spirit. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed exploring the railways of Hayle.
Boisterous crowds felt the thrill as the mighty engines will. Fortunes rise and pennies spill. Life was more than standing still. Tracks through time, they tell a tale of dreams chased on.
Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. And don't forget to do that bell thingy if you want to stay informed of any new videos coming up.
Legends born in Hayle, legends born in Hayle, legends born in Hayle.